We are talking about a famous painting done by one Thomas Hickey. It is titled as Three Princesses of Mysore. In this painting, if you see, there are three ladies. In the middle, in the center, we have an elderly lady. On either side, much younger two girls, to be precise. They are there. One of them in the white dress, she is displaying her arm to show that she has been vaccinated there. So probably when you see that photograph, you will understand. Probably in the history of, at least in India, the first time anybody even modeled for a medicinal purpose, but particularly to promote vaccination in the larger interest of public. To understand the context, you have to understand in 1799, a young Shri Rajachandra Wadiyar, after the demise of Tipu in the Mysore Fourth War, was anointed as the king, and the capital was shifted from Srirangpatna to Mysore. In those days, smallpox was a very dreaded disease. So much so, Mummudi's own father, known as Kasa Chamraj Wadiyar, in whose name Mummudi built a town known as Chamaraj Nagar, also died of smallpox. And in a dispatch of war dispatch between the Tipu and his subordinates in Kur, he says 500 people died of smallpox. So you can understand the contract that it was a dread disease. So Mummudi, after becoming the king, at the age of 7 he was married for the first time. That means what you call as child marriages. So when he became 12-year-old, that was around 1805, 1806, his grandmother, Maharani Lakshamani Avaru, wanted him to marry a second time. And this lady, also known as Devajamani, was yet to get an attack of smallpox. So in those days, smallpox, if somebody hadn't got an attack, that means they had to wait till they had an attack of smallpox. So because of that, his marriage was getting delayed. So when this came to the knowledge of the resident, Sir Mark Wilkes, who was also a famous author of the first ever definitive account of the Mysore history, was written by Mark Wilkes. And incidentally, his nephew was none other than Mark Cubbon, who is a famous administrator well known in this area. So when he came to know, he said, he speaks to the Dowager Maharani, Lakshamani Avaru. He said, why don't you try this new thing which has come, known as vaccination. This vaccination had come to India somewhere around 1802 by one Dr. Jenner. And in those days, it is not like the today's vaccination. It is by and large human to human transmission. That means one person gets it, and once the attack evolves and postulates are formed and pus formation is done, from there again the pus formation is extracted and given to some 5 more people or something like that. So you can understand that, it's a cultural revolution of sort, because when a vaccine is taken from one human to another human, that means you are forgetting about one caste, creed, religion and whatnot. And to say that the people will accept it in those days, because what was known as was, Sitale, Maramman Puja Madodo, something like, praying to the Marama, she's unhappy, to protect that was the only mode of treatment in those days known. One who does not survive obviously had the wrath of Marama and died. To make people accept it was a difficult one. So though it came in 1802 to Bombay and other places, the vaccination was not accepted by the people of India. though there could have been here and there some examples and all that. At the same time, in Srirangpatna, there was a missionary known as Abbe Du Bois. He was a well-known author also. Church established by him is still there in Ganjam area, and he was also originally established the Bangalore's St. Mary's church, which is annual feast and all are being conducted. He also took upon himself to propagate, because it is something like a soft diplomacy you can call, both for propagating the religion and as well as for the British themselves to they are actually a benevolent rulers. They are interested in the welfare of the people. So in that way, this Du Bois helped convince people and take. He is known to have convinced as many as 25,000 people during his stay in Srirangpatna. But the impetus was given by the royal family, because when Rani Lakshmani accepted this proposition by Mark Wilkes and coaxed his bride-to-be, Devajamani, to take the vaccination and also to say, pose for when all the three royal ladies, the first wife of Mummudi and as well as the future wife and the grandmother herself, posing for the photograph was something unthinkable and unheard of, and probably to this day there is no example of such a revolutionary idea of modeling for a medicine. I don't think that even in modern times you can see any royalty would say, I am doing this and posing for it and things like that. So to that extent, this is a remarkable example of the Mysore royalty coming into the realm of medical, modern medicine propagation in not only in Mysore region, almost entire India, because so much so, the Madras government, then headed by Bentinck, who became later on the Viceroy as well, he issued a Gazette Extraordinary sometime in June 1806. So that is the story behind the whole thing. So to that extent that we should celebrate this extraordinary event by the Mysore royalty in the cause of public health and as well as coming into the, because you understand that in those days the ladies would never come out of the parda. So despite such a, even when the dignitaries like the Viceroy or the Commissioner would go and meet the royalty, they would sit behind the parda. Here is a case where they have posed for a painting, and that is something remarkable and extraordinary, and I feel that we need to celebrate this. But unfortunately, this painting was almost unknown. It had some reason gone back to England. It was in probably Victoria and Albert Museum and all that, and it was titled as Dancing Girls. That they never knew that it was actually, the story behind was not known till probably in somewhere in 1999. One Mr. Nigel Chancellor of the Cambridge University, a Indophile, does the research and comes out with the real history behind the painting, and that's how later on it has become very popular.